this is Janet Morena, Executive Director of Priests for Life, and welcome to our program. Well, you might be hearing a lot about ballot initiatives all across our country. Several states have them. And here, where our studio is, here in Florida, we have one too. But you know what? The other side is making it sound like this is so good and wonderful. Making abortion legal through all 9 months of pregnancy and no big deal. Well, here in Florida, we have beautiful laws like 15-week ban. And now, as of May 1st, we have the heartbeat law protecting the unborn babies and their mothers from abortion. But this ballot initiative, this vote no on 4, is going to wipe it all out. Well, guess what? It's time we hear about the voices of experience, those who had an abortion and could speak to this issue 100%. Well, joining me today is one of the women who speaks quite publicly about her testimony, a good friend of our ministries, Muriel Ramos. Muriel, welcome to the program.
Hi. How are you?
Okay, great. Well, just paint the picture for us. What got you to an abortion clinic many years ago?
Well, I moved in with my very first boyfriend and fiance, and we decided to go on birth control. We were living in Hollywood, Florida, and we went to the clinic and they gave me birth control. And 6 months later, I found out I was pregnant, and we were back at that clinic, and they said that because I was taking that birth control, the baby was going to be deformed. And my fiance was frightened, as was I. So we scheduled the abortion, and I was very naive and very, very unaware of the risks. And he dropped me off. It was this old building on Griffin Road, Hollywood, Florida. It was so shabby. And I was in a room with a bunch of girls, and they saw the look on my face and said, "Oh, this is not a big deal. I've been here before. This is my second time." Another one said, "Oh, this is my fourth." And I was panicking. And I was like, I can't do this. And I went and asked the woman to let me use the phone to call my fiance. They already had my money. They could have let me go. She was irritated. She took me out of the room with the other women. And I was like, can I just please use the phone? I cannot do this today. And she put me into a room. She goes, everyone has last minute fears. We have some medicine for that. And she put me in a room and she put an IV in my arm, and I was crying. And the other side's story about, it's between a woman and a doctor. When the doctor walked in and I was crying, I said, she doesn't understand. I want to use the phone. I'm not ready to do this. He didn't even give me eye contact. He gave her eye contact and gestured like that up, I guess. And I don't remember anything after that.
Well, they must have given you some medication at that point, because they said, we're going to calm you down. But where is your right to choose? If you are saying, can I please use the phone? I want to make a call. I'm not too sure if I want to do this. Where's the right to choose, Muriel? You were asking, can I use the phone? And they denied you access to call your fiance.
I was young and very, very timid, and I should have just grabbed my clothes, but I was in a gown and I was stuck, and I didn't know anything else until I came to, and I was horrified at the women crying, the smell in the room. And that same woman came up to me and said, "Oh, you're waking up. It's time for your juice and cookies." And she said, "You never have to talk about this again. That was the right thing to do. Now you can get on with your life, and you don't have to ever talk about it again." And I was so, I was like, why is she telling me that? And at that point, I was like, I was violated, but I didn't even have the gumption to stand up and say, what happened to me? You drugged me. You put an IV in my arm.
Well, and also, too, when you think about it, you never met the doctor where you got to ask questions.
Never.
What is this procedure like?
Never.
How far along in the pregnancy are we? What's my baby's development look like? They really talk about informed consent. This was
they didn't tell me.
Consent. Please stop. I don't want to do this. Give me the phone. And they went ahead and did it anyway.
And my mother died when I was 3. Her sister died when she was in her 40s. Cancer ran in my family, breast cancer. And when they put me on that birth control, and then when I had the abortion and I found out years later that I raised my risk for breast cancer, I wasn't informed of any risks.
Right.
It gets worse. When my fiance picked me up that day and he said, "How are you?" I said, "I don't ever want to talk about this ever again."
Wow.
It was horrible. I was like forever changed. I was damaged. I was so hurt.
Yeah.
I was violated and I didn't even realize at the time.
Did you and your fiance end up getting married?
We did. We did.
Wow.
We did. But I fell out of love with him because not knowing exactly why, I just didn't have that feeling towards him anymore. But after the abortion, I had an infection. I had to go back to that clinic.
Oh, no.
And I said, "What is wrong with me? I have this discharge and I didn't have it before. And this was before AIDS." And they admitted, they said, "Oh, it was probably from our surgical equipment." They called it ping pong. And they said, "It's no big deal. We're going to give you some medicine and some cream, an oral medicine and a cream." I don't know what it was that I had, but it was
not good.
Not good. And
Yeah.
for them to admit that it was from their unsterile equipment. And then I developed rashes on my body. And through my 20s, I would wake up in the middle of the night sweating and like inflammation all over my body. I found out years later that I was my adrenal glands were in haywire. I was caught in fight or flight. And I would go to sleep at night and dream about that.
Abortion.
And I would be, I had to go on prednisone numerous times throughout my 20s because the dermatitis was so bad.
Wow.
So it was like an autoimmune disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think, connected to the trauma.
So
it was
you married
trauma.
your fiance, right? And did that last, or
No.
what happened?
I left him.
You left him, and why? Because
I just
you of the abortion?
I felt so disappointed, and I had changed so much. My heart had kind of closed. I was angry. I didn't realize it.
Wow.
I saw him years later, and he cried to me, and he said, "Muriel, every Mother's Day that goes by, I feel so bad about what happened." And I was like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah. So you, of course, later married. You have a wonderful family now. You went through abortion recovery. You were healed from this experience, right? And right now here in Florida, we have, first of all, good laws in Florida, right, that protect unborn babies and their mothers from abortion. As of May 1st this year, we have now the heartbeat bill is in effect. We have parental notification. Parental consent is in place in the state. So as a woman who's had an abortion here in Florida, and now we have this Amendment 4 that the pro-aborts want to make abortion legal through all 9 months of pregnancy, no parent involvement, zero. How does that make you feel?
So frustrated because the misinformation is terrible. I just can't believe that people really would want this for women. Our pets get better treatment in a veterinarian clinic than they do there.
Yeah.
When the Supreme Court said in 1973, through all 9 months, for whatever reason, they wiped their hands, and there's no standards of care.
Right.
Women are being treated like cattle there, and I know women that have come out of them and never been able to have a child.
Because the damage done to them in that abortion clinic. Right?
Yes.
It's
They are infertile or multiple habitual miscarriages,
Right.
maybe scar tissue from the abortion.
And also compromising the cervix, the cervical
Right,
muscle that keeps
right.
that pregnancy inside.
Exactly. And I had a preemie, so
Oh, see, you had a premature birth because
Mm-hmm.
of that. Yeah, you couldn't carry to full term.
And I had 5 miscarriages as well.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I want better for women.
So vote
Absolute-
no on Amendment 4 would be your mantra, right?
Absolutely. We
Now-
need to protect.
Now you have young teenage daughters, and of course this amendment, this 4, would take away parental involvement altogether. No parental involvement. Your teenage daughters would be able to go by themselves, or let a school counselor or teacher take them for an abortion. so many people say, oh, but don't you want these rights for your daughters? How do you feel as a mother of teenage daughters? What can you speak to that?
Well, they're not teenagers anymore. They're young ladies, 21 and 22. That scares the daylights out of me that parents will not be able to have any knowledge of that because they get injured in an abortion and they're afraid to tell their parents. They may have an infection like me, a punctured uterus. We don't know. How is that beneficial? Parents do have to have a right to know. Don't they have to have parents' permission for a tattoo or?
Yeah, and in school, you can't even give a young girl a Tylenol.
Correct, yeah.
If she's got a headache, no Tylenol, nothing without consent. And can't take them on a school trip without consent. And yet they can take them on a school trip to the abortion clinic with no consent.
What if a person's daughter is having relations with an older guy or a trafficker? Parents don't have a right to know that they're being raped? Or whatever the situation could be, parents have to know what's going on for the well-being of their child.
Well, I have a little sign here, Muriel, we want to hold up for our audience, okay? And what does it say? Vote no on 4. And that's the message we have here. Vote no on 4. And why? Because it's always bad for the baby, always bad for the mothers. And like I said, no parental involvement, no doctors. You don't have to have a doctor perform an abortion according to this new ballot initiative. And also no restrictions on viability till birth through all 9 months. So brothers and sisters, you heard from Muriel. And what do we say?
Vote no on 4.
That's right. Well, Muriel, thank you for joining me. And I hope the truth gets out there more and more, that we get everyone to realize vote no on Amendment 4. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, brothers and sisters, thank you for joining us. And I have a special website for you to go to, endabortionflorida.us. That's endabortionflorida.us. All the information's there. Spread it far and wide. We have to educate everyone to vote no on Amendment 4 this fall. And just remember, brothers and sisters, there are some abortions only you can stop, and therefore some lives only you can save. Join us again next time. Thank you. God bless.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alveda King, board member of Priest for Life. More money is being spent in America to kill babies in the womb than to save them. Together, we need to change that, and today I want to invite you to support our work at Priest for Life. Why ours rather than other groups? Because we have a unique team that helps lead in every arena of the fight against abortion, and we activate the churches where you find people who are most likely to get involved in that fight. To awaken a pastor about abortion is to awaken thousands of people he serves. We do not receive church funding or government grants. We rely on you for individual donations. We have a very high evaluation among charities and top security on our donation site, prolifegift.org. You can go there for a one-time gift or to become a monthly donor, or you can call us at 321-500-1000.